सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय मूर्तये नमः। वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं मत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। ओम। Last time, what we discussed, we just summarize. We are trying to understand the nature of the world. When we see the creation, it is so vivid that it is a very purposeful and deliberate creation. One thing. Everything has a purpose. Nothing is purposeless, including my tonsils and my appendix also. It has a role, though we may remove it, it has some purpose. And it's so intelligently put together. Everything is intelligently put together to fulfill a purpose. Anything intelligently put together to fulfill a given purpose implies a creator. There cannot be something which is intelligently put together and it fulfills definite purpose, not being created. Like even San Francisco, I don't know how it is called, Silicon Valley. Silicon means different, it is on seashore, but it is Silicon Valley. And if someone sees this phone, it is so many things intelligently put together. It fulfills so many objectives, purpose for me. It can help me to take class also on Zoom. I can take pictures, I can take messages, give messages, talk, everything. And they say, where did you get it? I say, in Silicon Valley, there is a stream of iPhone coming out. If I use your American word, nobody can buy this. Nobody will buy this. Fact that it is intelligently put together, it must have a creator. Somebody has created. Very creation speaks aloud about creator. Its nature and that there is a creator. In childhood, we used to read the stories, like the standard plot. A princess was kidnapped by a demon and was kept in a deep forest, and nobody could get her back, and the king announced a prize that whosoever gets my daughter back, I will marry him, my daughter, and then give half the kingdom, blah, blah, blah. And many princes went and they never came back. They were muktaha, yat gatva nivartante. Like that 15th chapter, they could never come back. And here comes a young prince, a promising guy, and goes to deep forest and sees a beautiful palace. well built, well furnished, and everything is properly placed. There is a food also, furniture, and everything done well, interior, etc. In the story, this sentence used to come. Having seen this, Prince thought, who created this? You can't have palace like the trees coming on their own in the jungle, the palace springing up from the Mother Earth, and there is a palace by its own. No. So many things were put together, has to have somebody for whom it is created. Who has created? The world has a creator. We saw last time and in this class also, what is the nature of the creator? The creation presupposes the knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot create anything. And the creator of a thing should be knower of that thing. Like a building necessitates, high-riser necessitates an architect and a structural engineer to have the knowledge about the design, the material, the load, etc., all the knowledge. Yo yat karta, whoever creates a thing, saha tadgnaha. That fellow is a knower of that vastu. So, ghatakarta, ghatagnaha, the creator of the pot, creator of the room, mathakarta, mathagnaha, sarvasya karta, sarva. He should be all-knowing, he or she, whatever. The creator is all-knowing. In the same creator should have all resources, all power to create. Whatever pot maker should have necessary strength to create the pot. Necessary means, necessary resources in terms of will and the stick and his hands and everything, sahayas, they are required. So also, ghatakarta, ghatashaktiman, patakarta, patashaktiman, sarvasya karta, sarvashaktiman. The creator is omniscient and omnipotent. I can trace the creation to someone who is all-knowing and all-powerful. Good. So far, that is good. Now the question comes, where is the creator? The very question implies a conclusion that he is not around. He is not here. There is the creator. Who is the creator? Yes, I can understand. Omniscient, omnipotent. Where is that creator means he is not around. And not around, we simply put him somewhere up. He is in some divine place. Moment you say in a divine place, that place is creation. Creation is yet to begin. Somewhere sitting up above, the question comes, who created that place for him to sit there? Him or her? And then he started creation. Whenever I say, please take it her also, okay? I don't want to repeat two things, so I'm just saying him. Who may I ask him to create for whatever reason? And when you say somewhere, that implies place, point P1, space is there. Whatever divine place you talk, Vaikuntha Loka, Golok Loka, Kailasa, heaven, whatever you say. And space and time are part of the creation. When the creation is yet to begin, how can there be space and time for him to sit and begin at some time? Okay? So, here, this, as I said last time, Edward Hubble was the first scientist to say the space is ever expanding. He never took the space as absolute. And later on, theory of relativity proved that everything is collapsible, including space and time. Vedas were very clear. They never took the space as absolute, never took the time as absolute. When there is Mahapralaya mentioned in Shastras, space and time also assumes the seed form. They also are not there when Pralaya takes place. And when the Utpatti creation starts, space and time are also created. So, anyway, when you cannot say that he was wanting in some material to create the creator. And as I said last time, where is that creator? He cannot be within the creation nor without the creation. The question of location, where? And the answer to that question is always in terms of space. The space being a creation, he cannot be within. And the very concept of without, outside, also is not possible, because outside is also with reference to something demarcating line. I can say outside hall the car is. It is from the standpoint of the walls of the hall. And I can say car is in the ashram. It is again from the standpoint of view of the walls of the ashram premises. And I can say ashram is in Selosburg. But Selosburg is outside a few houses ashram. So it's a relative. The answer is we need to understand the second cause for the creation. Every creation requires two causes. One is called intelligent cause, the knowledge, and second is called the material cause, the material with which the creation is made. And the Lord, the God, the Ishvara, who is all-knowing, all-powerful, cannot be, if he or she is all-powerful, wanting in terms of material, needing something else to create that. And if at all he needs something else to create, that means someone else is the creator who has created that material M1 for him to start the creation. And the question comes, how did that God created material M1 from? What is a material cause for that material M1? You can say M2. You can go to M5 like British Secret Service. But then it is endless. The answer to this, Shastra gives, the material is found in himself. That in is relative. This is for want of word I use. The creator is the material to create. Example, two examples are given. The spider. Spider is the creator of the web, and spider is his body, is the very material cause out of which the thing is created. Here in case of spider, example, there is a limitation because spider is given the space. Spider has those supports to start the web and his threads, and there is a time and the weather, everything, and the food available for him to create those threads. For that, to remove those limitations and to explain further, another example is given, the dream world. I create the dream out of myself. And as I create the dream, that means the space and time is also my creation. The space comes from me, the time comes from me, the dream, day and sun and dream. There may be a sun in the dream, there may be a moon in the dream, and I may see roads, I may have car, I may have my guest for the car, and I may be driving the car. That moment in the dream, objects shining and opaque things in the dream, or sentient and insentient things in the dream, they are all from me. Now, just understand one more point. When I say they are all from me, 2-3 points you should know. The whole dream is nothing but manifestation, not creation. I manifest as the dream object. It is not created. It appears, the right word, but still you can use this. There is no dream created. I manifest as time, I manifest as space, I manifest as my friend, my car, gas, sun, moon, road, movements, and hurricane also. If at all I see that, it is my manifestation. If the cause of a vastu, the material vastu, is same, the cause is both material cause and intelligent cause. Upadana karanam and nimitta karanam, so-called creation is nothing but manifestation in another form, another name. There is no really creation taking place. Or, although we say, figuratively we say, I create the dream world and I sustain the dream world and dream world dissolves into me. Which creation? 1 point. Second, let us use the word created thing for the time being. Generally, these two causes are separate. The intelligent cause and the material cause. Like this wood table. Intelligent cause is the carpenter, Mr. Carpenter who has knowledge how to create, and the material cause is wood out of which the table is created. Two causes are separate, and one thing, the created table is not separate from its material wood. No object, no vastu that is created can be away from its material cause. This particular stand of the mic is created out of steel. Can it be away from steel? Certainly no. This piece of cloth, the material cause for this piece of cloth is cotton. Can this be away from cotton? No. So though we say, this is the limitations of Vyavahara, I bought a shirt, but it is a fabric that you are buying. And the fabric is nothing but, after all, cotton. The shirt or a pant or a t-shirt or a kurta, whatever you say, if it is cotton, cannot be away from cotton. Correct? In other words, with reference to this table, listen this. Table cannot be away from wood. In other words, wood is all pervasive in the table. The material cause is all pervasive to the vastu that is created out of it. Can you find a single point P1? Even such a small point like the needle, point of the needle, that is away from wood. When you touch the table, actually you are touching the wood. The wood is or the table is not away, separate from the wood, and therefore wood is all pervasive in table. Correct? Suppose there are 100 wooden furniture items. You can say this, wood is not away from 100 things. Like Pujya Swamiji used to give example. He has his own story. He said, one of my devotee has a chain of ornament shop, and he had 1 ton of gold. Vachane ka daridrata. Why to talk less? It is only talking. So 1 ton of gold. And out of then 1 ton of gold, he just made 100,000 ornaments. And then invited, before they were all shipped to different outlets, invited Swamiji to see, look at this, my factory, these are my ornaments, and these are happy, bless me Swamiji, blah, blah, all this. And then said finally, Swamiji as a Guru Dakshina, take one thing, whatever you want. Swamiji said, what? He said, take one thing, whatever you want. Are you sure? Yes, yes, you take any one thing, but one. Okay. Swamiji said, gold. I take gold. You have to take it, rest is mine. What rest? Is nothing is rest. That is why I can say, understand the example, all the ornaments are nothing but manifestation of one goal. Because it is the material cause. 100,000 things. If Ishvara is a material cause, everything is his manifestation. And just as no object can be away from its material, wood cannot be away from the table. The wood is all pervasive, being a material cause with reference to table. We say Ishvara is all pervasive. Understand? Only Veda says this. Bhagavan is all pervasive. The answer to this question, where is God? It is like asking, where is wood here? What is the answer? The fellow asks, where is wood here? Where is wood not here? That's the answer. There is not a point P1. That point like the tip of a needle in this table, which is away from it. So also, where is Ishvara not? Like dream is nothing but manifestation of my knowledge. What all I have seen or known during the waking, that alone manifests in the dream. So also, the entire world, entire creation is manifestation of Ishvara's Jnana. When I say it is manifestation, look at this. Entire dream world is manifestation of my knowledge. Correct? But in dream, there are some sentient and inert being. Ultimately, there is nothing inert. I, the conscious being alone, is manifesting as so-called inert objects. There is a car, there is a gas, there is a road, there is a stand post, there is a truck. So many things. In the dream, inert and sentient objects are there. But the whole dream world is nothing but manifestation of one conscious being. I, his knowledge, it is sarvam knowledge. Therefore, Vakya says, Prajnanam Brahma. That being the case, when I see the creation, look at this, the vision of Ishvara, the understanding of Ishvara is manifesting in Indian culture, Bharatiya culture, in Hindu culture. Because I don't, just as in the dream, I am the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. I am the material cause, I am the intelligent cause. Therefore, so-called inert objects are really not inert. They are same knowledge manifesting as that. So also the sun and the moon and the mountains and the rivers and the earth, all air, all they look inert objects. But they are, since Ishvara is the Upadana Karanam, like my dream, they are manifestation of Ishvara. Since they are manifestation of Ishvara, they are divine. You know, I can look upon sun on a river or a mountain or a cloud or a wind just as a natural phenomenon. Or I can look upon them as manifest. Ishvara being Upadana Karanam, it is its manifestation. And since it is a manifestation, I can worship as Ishvara or as symbol of Ishvara. I can do that. And you know, I can see Ishvara in a particular aspect and I worship him in a particular form, because all the forms of the dream, none of the forms in my dream are separate from me. So also none of this form are separate from him. It is his manifestation. And then, since we see them severally, and we can visualize them severally, so we can see all the forms as varieties of manifestation of one Ishvara. So we can worship him severally, and we can see him as total. And I being limited, therefore I see the several form. My cognitive capacities being limited, I can see that as Ishvara. These are all called those phenomenon, those orders, those niyamas. We call them devatas. Understand why there are 33 crores devatas? There can be more also. Thank God the Newton was not born. Otherwise, Gurutva Akarshana Devata also will be there. You know, with this, all this reason. So that is the reason everything is his way. And just to connect, some of you who have heard Pujya Swamiji, Hindus don't, he told this in United Nations conference, we don't believe in God, we understand only God. Understand the difference? The dream world, the dream fellow says, one guy says, I believe in God, one God. He says, another fellow says, I believe in another God. And the wise man says, there is only God. It is nothing separate from him. This being a case is not limited to a form, is not limited to a given place. He being all pervasive, all forms of worship are validated in the culture. No objection. And Pujya Swamiji would say, he knows all languages also. That is also his manifestation. All the forms of this are his manifestations. All the forms of prayers, all the forms of worships are valid. So yesterday somebody asked me, you know, if I am an American traditional Christian, so what? Every form is his form. And therefore you will find Hindus going to every place of worship and they can pray. No issues. Because from birth we learn We are told that He is all pervasive, everything is His manifestation, including those ants that used to be moving in the home. There was maybe Bhagavan. They don't kill it. And there is nothing outside Ishvara. So everything is Pujya. Not that God created the world for my consumption. We share the same biological space. Every living creature has equal right if they are individual. If you look at them as a separate and individual, there is nothing special in us that we claim it is meant for me and my consumption. No way. We share the same biological space. And if you understand this upadana karanam, everything is divine. Everything is divine. Every prayer is validation. You can validate every prayer, and every form of worship is. There is nothing called pagan worship. In Gita ji, Bhagavan says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stat. You invoke Him in whichever form He is available. And He being all pervasive, you cannot invoke Him in all the forms. Whatever available, you do it. So, nothing is separate from Ishvara. One more thing I said to you last time. This creation is not a static creation like carpenter creating this table. He created and forgot it. No. The creative process is on and on and on. The very sustenance of the creation, what we call it, involves creation and destruction. It is all two sides of the coin. Like this body. As long as I am alive, new cells are born and the old cells die. In a plant, new leaves keep coming. Birds coming, leaves coming, fruits, etc. And the old ones die. This creative process is there. What I said in the beginning, this is very, very orderly creation. Everything is cause-effect. Nothing is uncaused. And no event that happens now, every event that happens now has some effect. And the effect is like when you throw a pebble in the pool of water, like the ever-expanding circles, appearance of circles. So also this creation is on and on, very systematic. There are certain laws, niyamas, that govern the sustenance of the creation. And it is very harmonious creation. What goes by the name of ecology, I can call ecology is nothing but harmony. Harmony is always pleasant. It's like symphony. You go to a big music concert, there are some 200, 300 players who play different instruments. Different types of noise they make. There are somebody who plays guitar, half a dozen of them. Half a dozen may be playing sitar, half a dozen may be playing the tabla, half a dozen may be playing drums, and there will be one guy holding just a steel triangle, ting, ting, he's doing it. It is a noise, but it's a symphony when it is played orderly. That musician may appear like a doll or joker, shaping the hand like this. He is governing the symphony. So also creation is a symphony. It's a harmony. That's what we call ecology. Just by the way, I told in 2-3 international conferences last year too, last or before, I think, no, last year only. I was in UN, I told this, Geneva. I said, when we talk of ecology, some people are really sincere, the world is going to end, and they mean it. And that to some extent they're right. But we confine our thinking about ecology to water, air, and food, and etc. We have to address social ecology. We have to address psychological ecology. We have to address religious ecology also. The whole world is a harmony. Each one is a part of, like that musician. We have to play our instrument in accordance with the totality. I just can't think of myself, no, the ting ting, well, I like ting 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 ting. It will disturb the whole symphony. You know, I'm tired after 2 minutes. I have to play after 40 seconds. Ting. And fellow went to sleep. That also is not proper. At the right time and with the right force, you cannot bang, dang. No. He has to play in accordance with the totality. So I am not an independent individual island, like an island in the ocean. I am connected to everything. Life is symbiotic life. I have to play my role to maintain this harmony, maintain this symphony. Ecology is not confined to only space and air pollution and water pollution and earth pollution. There are varieties of pollution. And more, I find lots of psychological pollution today. That disturbance is, anyway, coming back to this, when we say Ishvara is the Upadana Karanam, understand? He is the material cause. Nothing is separate from him. Everything is his manifestation. He is all pervasive. All the laws, all the niyamas is also his manifestation. Natural laws, what we call it. Sun is non-separate from him. Moon is non-separate from him. Clouds and the rains and the oceans and the river and the law of gravitation is non-separate from him. And it is in order. Nothing is separate from him, including, listen this, please listen listen to this carefully, including my body and my mind. That I have this body is in order. I have this mind is in order. As my mind thinks this way, there are psychological orders. Accept it. This is called living in the awareness of Ishvara. I told you there is nothing is uncaused. And the cause is definite. All the laws of Ishvara are infallible and impartial. They're like a gravitational law, so also psychological laws. They are there, and it is as per the psychological law or psychological order. This is why my mind is like this. That is also manifestation of Ishvara, that is called accept yourself with limitations. This is also order. It looks a little too tall a claim, but that is a fact. This is called establishing bond with Ishvara. See Ishvara in my limitation. In some others, see behavior also. That is as per that order. You know, as Pujya Swamiji used to say, there are no accidents in the world. There is only word accident. There is only word called accident. When we say there was an accident, then there is a police case. Police reduces investigators reduce accident into incident. Correct? And therefore they find this fellow is guilty. He was overspeeding, therefore this happened. That is also law. If you overspeed, you will turn, and at this speed you take this turn of this angle, you will touch. You will hit. This is it. That is also for the law. However unpleasant, it is painful. That so-called accident is painful, but ultimately incident. My mind, my thinking, my parents, my childhood, my spouse, the incidents happen in my life. This is also order, accept. That will neutralize why me factor. That will neutralize the reactions of anger, reaction of hurt, reaction of disappointment. All this is neutralized if you look at it, Ishvara. It is not just emotionally I am talking, but your emotions are also in order. That is also manifestation of Ishvara. Therefore, everything is divine in this culture. Nothing is away from Ishvara. He is not separate, called abhinna, nimitta upadana karana. He is both material cause and intelligent cause. Now one more thing. How he created? Again, to explain, answer how, we have this beautiful dream available to explain. Example. I am a sentient being. I am a conscious being. I had some knowledge. Just now I told you, dream is manifestation of my knowledge. The sentient appears to be inert. I am a conscious entity. I as though divide myself, as though, without dividing, into sentient being and inert beings. Not moving around anywhere. I travel the globe. This fellow found himself in a desert, wanting a glass of water. And he saw those desert poisonous snakes. It happened to be in the Middle East desert. And those sheikhs have pets in lions and tigers. They keep those pets. And one of the pets ran away from the palace. And he was coming in the desert. This side snakes are coming. This side the tiger is coming. And this is a huge mountain dune of the sand dunes. Doesn't know where to go. And this side there was a small valley. He said, let me jump to save the self. When he jumped, found himself on the carpet. He was dreaming. He was hungry and thirsty. He was hungry and thirsty. You know why? Because he overate in the evening. He ate too much, had a sound sleep, and then got a dream. He was in air-conditioned room with king-size bed and double mattress, double pillow mattress, and finds himself in desert, perspiring. How can this happen? That is called Maya. Please understand what is Maya. Maya explains a phenomenon, is a word, it's an ontological word which explains a creation which really has not happened. In English, they can translate it as magic, but not exactly magic. Something you want to know how and why. We had one magician who used to ask from the audience, come on, come here, give me a rose. He takes a rose. Ask everybody, smell, smell, smell. Everybody smells. Then he had a steel tumbler in his hand and he will shake the rose. And then again call. Suddenly from the audience you see it is boiling, water. Something boiling, vapor coming out. You know what it is? Something hot. Coming. So you'll call 2-3 people from the audience. And they said, my God, test this. It was a tea. Gujarati masala chai. It was fresh tea. And they sip. Very good tea. Come rose. They will come to the edge of the stage. And I'm throwing on you. And I will throw. And pieces of paper will come out. How did this happen? Nothing has happened. Do you think he has really made tea out of rose? Starbucks will be useless. He should start every day. Tea. It's a 100% profit business. No investment, no expense for raw material. Just hire a shop and keep giving. There was no tea. But I saw, I was the one who drank the tea. Others says, I was the one who gave the rose. But it was true. Something he has done. What you call it? Magic. And the same teacup he threw on the audience. Pieces of paper comes out. In simple language, it is harsh, not proper. We were fooled by him. Without creating, he made an appearance of creation. Same dream. Without creating anything, there is a creation. The power, the capacity to create this is called Shakti, called Maya Shakti. Understand? That Maya, right word is Prakriti. Kriti means creation. Prakriti, that's it, can create a wonderful creation. Our dream may not be wonderful, sometimes painful. More often, in fact, in many cases. But then here is a beautiful creation. What an intelligent creation. So purposeful. Prakarshena kriti yogyatva. That Shakti is capable of creating a beautiful creation. That is his Shakti called Maya or Prakriti. Maya means that which is not. Really not there. You also are, all of us are Ishwaras. We have Shakti to create the dream. But then where is that Shakti? God knows. It is neither with me nor away from. If it is with me, in waking also it should be available. There are some people who keep daydreaming also. That's a different cases. They are meant for different hospitals, not for Vedanta class. Anyway, so the Shakti, therefore it is called Achinta Shakti. You cannot categorize whether it is or is not. It is conscious or inert. Just as I bring about my power to create before I start the dream and it starts. So also, when the creation is to begin, Ishvara as though invokes the power of creation, Maya, and creates. And though some order is given, like dream, everything is simultaneous. Just create. How? By thought only. So this Srishti also is Sankalpa Matra. There is a Vakya, So Kamayat Bahusyam Praja Yeti satapo tapyata satapastaptva tadaikshat ityadi, all vakyas are. He just desired, that's it. There is no real material for my dream. It appears to be real, but it is me only manifesting as time, space, inert, sentient objects, everything. So also, Ishvara, Sankalpa Matra, this creates the whole creation. Okay? Now, that is the Ishvara, and therefore all prayers are meaningful. All the forms of worship are meaningful. Or any form of Ishvara is meaningful. Whatever way you look upon him is meaningful, because nothing is separate from him. Therefore, yesterday I said to you, what is Hindu Dharma in one sentence? Whatever is non-separate from Ishvara. Like all the furniture, whatever furniture is not separate from wood, because it is Badana. And since he creates through Maya, without really becoming, appears to be becoming, there is a word called Vivarta Upada. Not Parinami Upada. Doesn't modify to become. Without undergoing any change, I can create. There are two types of material cause, which itself undergoes a change. Other one doesn't undergo the change. No substantive change. And that is called Vivarta Upadana Karanam, that we will see some other time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.